Lately, I might have seen headlines warning that the stock market's finished and it's time to pull out before Donald triggers a major crash. News outlets are filled with predictions of disaster and social media is buzzing with speculation. Should I sell now before things get worse? But as someone who's been studying the market for years and built a reputation around smart investing, we want to offer you a more grounded perspective. If you've been following our content, you know we've been deeply passionate about investing. Many of you started investing your money after watching our videos, and that comes with a responsibility we don't take lightly. So before making hasty decisions, we encourage you to take a pause, take a breath, and consider the bigger picture. Market crashes never come out of nowhere. They always have a cause. And right now, there's three key factors at the center of the recent downturn, all of which can be traced back to one person, Donald Trump. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, this isn't about political bias. We're not here to support or attack Trump. As a British investor, our only interest is in how global decisions impact the driving current market turbulence and explore how you can not only protect your wealth, but potentially grow it. The first major factor is Trump's aggressive approach to trade, often referred to as his trade war. Trump built much of his reputation on being a master negotiator and has always portrayed himself as someone who fiercely defends American jobs. His strategy has often involved imposing tariffs on foreign goods to push other countries into what it considers fair trade deals. While that might sound like a solid tactic, the ripple effects of these decisions can be devastating. To understand the impact, it's helpful to look back at history. In the 30s, during the onset of the Great Depression, the U.S. passed the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which drastically increased tariffs on imported goods. The goal was to protect American businesses from foreign competition. Initially, this move appeared to support local industries by reducing imports, but it backfired. Other countries retaliated and raised their tariffs. What started as a minor recession quickly snowballed into a Great Depression, one of the worst economic periods in U.S. history. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing echoes of that same pattern. In February 2025, Trump announced a 10% tariff on Canadian energy imports, along with a 25% tariff on various other goods from Canada. Canada responded in kind, slapping a 25% tariff on American imports. Ontario also took things further by replacing a 25% surcharge on electricity to the U.S. While that particular move may have been more symbolic than practical, Trump didn't let it slide. Instead, he escalated the conflict by hiking tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum to 50%. This wasn't a symbolic gesture. This was a direct hit on a vital industry. Not only did it hurt Canadian manufacturing, but also raised costs for U.S. companies dependent on imported steel. Now, why should this matter to the everyday consumer? Because tariffs, while intended to penalize foreign businesses, often end up harming consumers. When companies have to pay more for materials, they pass that cost to consumers. And this means higher prices on everything. Even food prices go up because of disrupted supply chains. The consequences don't stop there. Other nations, rather than waiting around for Trump's next move, are now forming strategic alliances to bypass the U.S. in trade. One of the most notable is the BRICS alliance: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, working together to reduce their reliance on American trade. The more the U.S. isolates itself, the more nations are incentivized to build alternative economic partnerships. This weakens the U.S. influence and reduces opportunities for American business. From an investor's perspective, the trade war is creating dangerous levels of uncertainty. If Trump continues down this path, the long-term consequences may outweigh the benefits. That said, we genuinely believe Trump is aiming to keep tariffs in place forever. He's a businessman at heart, and we think he's using tariffs as a leverage to secure more favorable trade deals. His ultimate goal may be well to achieve freer trade, but only on terms that benefit the U.S. The problem is that his tactics are causing widespread confusion. Constant policy shifts and retaliatory measures from other countries make investors nervous, and that nervousness shows up as volatility in the market. The second key factor influencing the market is Trump's approach to NATO. Over the years, Trump has repeatedly questioned America's role in the alliance, insisting that member nations should pay more for their own defense. On paper, it sounds reasonable. After all, why should the U.S. carry a disproportionate share of the burden? But geopolitically, it's a risky stance. If the U.S. starts pulling back from NATO commitments, it could create a power vacuum, potentially emboldening adversaries like Russia or China to expand their influence. When global stability is in question, investors react with fear. If NATO weakens and conflict erupts, it could disrupt trade. All scenarios that shake market confidence. Investors crave predictability, and any hint of the world order shifting sends shockwaves through financial markets. The third and most controversial theory is that Trump might actually be trying to crash the market on purpose. We know this sounds outrageous, but hear us out. Trump has long criticized higher interest rates, arguing that they slow economic growth. He's repeatedly clashed with the Fed over the issue. The catch is the Fed operates independently, and Trump can't simply order them to slash rates. However, the Fed does respond to economic conditions. If market crashes occur, they may be forced to lower rates in response. Lower interest rates make it cheaper for people and businesses to borrow money, which can stimulate growth and drive up stock. But there's a deeper motivation here too: government debt. Right now, the US is carrying an astronomical $36.5 trillion in debt. With interest rates as high as they are, the government is spending an enormous amount just to service that debt. Think of it like maxing out credit cards with sky-high interest. You're barely chipping away at the principal. This wouldn't be the first time a political leader has tried to manipulate economic forces for a strategic gain. If Trump can engineer a downturn that prompts the Fed to lower rates, then position himself as the hero, it could be a masterstroke, one that benefits him politically and economically. So what does this mean for you? Should you panic, sell off your investments? Absolutely not. Market crashes aren't rare catastrophes. They're normal parts of the investing cycle. But we are not here to give full financial advice. It is your money to do with as you please. We can only simply speculate. Throughout history, every major downturn has eventually been followed by a recovery. The people who panic and sell usually lose money, while those who stay disciplined and invest wisely tend to come out ahead. The key right now is preparation and strategy. First, make sure your personal finances are in order. Before investing, build an emergency fund with enough savings to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Pay off any high-interest debt, anything above 8%, so you're not vulnerable if the market takes a while to recover. If you've taken care of that, now you could actually be one of the best times to start investing. During downturns, stocks are essentially discounted. In the 2008 financial crisis, we kept investing as the market hit rock bottom, and our patience paid off with huge returns in the years that followed. Meanwhile, some of our friends panic sold their investments and missed out on the rebound. You don't have to time the market perfectly, just invest consistently. If you're new to investing, this could be a golden opportunity. Staying disciplined is crucial. Emotional investing, selling when you're scared and buying when you're greedy, is one of the biggest reasons people lose money. Stick to a long-term strategy like a dollar-cost averaging plan where you invest the same amount regularly regardless of market conditions. It smooths out the highs and lows over time and helps you build wealth steadily. Finally, make sure your investments are diversified. Don't pull all your money in one place. Spread your portfolio across different asset classes: stocks, bonds, gold, real estate, even a bit of crypto. Consider dividend-paying stocks too, as they generate passive income when markets are down. Remember, market crashes aren't the end of the road. They're part of the journey. With the right mindset, they can be incredible opportunities. While others are panicking, you could be preparing. While others are retreating, you could be building your future. The smartest investors aren't the ones who avoid downturns, they're the ones who know how to navigate them. But as always, do everything at your own risk. So stay focused, stay calm, and keep investing with confidence. If you want more insight on how to build wealth in 2025 and beyond, be sure to check out our next video. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss a thing.